Yeah.
Okay, welcome everyone. Today I'm going to conduct the session on AWS. We know that AWS is the cloud market leader. So actually we will give highlights like why AWS is dominating after it launch, and what are the core services of AWS and the leading technologies like IoT, machine learning, AI, and every services we can AWS is dominating with these different services. So what is the concept about cloud computing? We know that on demand delivery of IT resources and applications via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. So this is the concept of the cloud computing. So before AWS, that means before launching the cloud, what challenges we are facing, like any resource capacity or any sufficient storage. So we need know that IT is going to different challenges, like any application or this application. We know that how many capacity, storage capacity, disk, and everything we have to plan beforehand. So this is the before cloud journey. But after AWS, that means cloud. So what with AWS, we know that servers, databases, storage, server applications, everything we can host on AWS. So with AWS, we can launch the service within seconds, and it is temporary and disposable. That means with the pay-as-you-go model, the service you launch, so it will go for the pricing, and according to pricing you have to pay. That means previously what happens, like earlier, that you have to bring a server and you have to some budgetary facts like 100K if you use the service, whatever. But in the this model, we know that we can launch the service as you want, and it can by using our service we can generate the bill. So this flexibility we can get with AWS. So we know that what are the some leading customers who are using AWS, like Netflix, right? We know that Netflix is a leading customer. Then Cathay Pacific, G Appliance, Findra, Airbnb is the hot cake right now. Expedia, lots of other customers like Coursera. This is not mentioned here, but some leading customers we have highlighted who are using AWS. So this is the AWS global infrastructure. That means AWS, all these servers. That means we know that AWS has different data centers. So these data centers is actually located in different areas of the world. Like some physical data, this is located in USA. Some physical data is using Sweden or Singapore or India. So basically these are the location where the AWS servers are hosted. So when you launch the service of AWS, please go to the previous slide. So this is the concept, like different servers, AWS different servers are located in different locations in the world. So that is mentioned here. And another thing, that disaster recovery is incorporated in AWS, so that if your service is there, so it can that means it ensures that you have 99% reliability. Okay.
It's no movement.
Next slide. So what do you know about Gartner? Anybody, any idea what is Gartner? So Gartner is a leading forecast. That means it predicts what are the technology will dominate in next 2 years, 3 years. So they actually categorize different cloud, any service, that how many, who are the leader in particular this area. So if we see that there are 4 quadrants here, okay. So please go to the previous slide. So what is the position of AWS? AWS is leader. This is called the magic quadrant. Okay. So what is the right, that means in cloud market area, so these are the leading provider. And who are the next? That means if you see the position according to 2019, AWS position is top. This is the rightmost. And who is next?
Microsoft.
Anybody? Microsoft.
Microsoft.
What is the product of Microsoft
Azure.
cloud? Azure. Correct.
Azure.
Okay. Then who is the next? Google. That means Google is third.
Google Cloud.
Yes, Google Cloud is third. And then if you see that this side there is no visionaries. These are leaders, these are visionaries, these are niche players, and these are challengers. So we see that Oracle, IBM, and Alibaba is the niche players. That means they are not even that categories. So this is the, I will request you everyone to see the Gartner's statistics from next onwards, so that you can predict that in any service area, who is the market leader. If you even you can see any telecom vendor or any service OSS who is the market player, just check Gartner. So this is the Gartner statistics. It is already mentioned that Gartner research position AWS in the leaders quadrant of the new Magic Quadrant IaaS platform, and so this is totally highlighted. Can you go to this YouTube site?
সাউন্ড বন্ধ করো।
Sound.
এখান থেকে বাইরে হবে।
English.
Without upfront costs or ongoing commitments,
Go to the,
imaginable use case adopted cloud platform.
yes.
Millions of
Now we
customers
will see the
trust
video.
AWS to power their infrastructure and applications. Organizations of every type and size are using AWS to lower costs, become more agile, and innovate faster. AWS provides on-demand delivery of technology services via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. You can use these services to build and run virtually any type of application without upfront costs or ongoing commitments. You only pay for what you use. AWS gives you more services and more features within those services than any other cloud provider. This makes it faster, easier, and more cost-effective to move your existing applications to the cloud and to build anything you can imagine. From infrastructure technologies like compute, storage, and databases, to emerging technologies such as machine learning and artificial intelligence, data lakes and analytics, and Internet of Things. Building on AWS means you can choose the right tool for the job. For example, AWS offers the widest variety of databases that are purpose-built for different types of applications. With AWS, you can leverage the latest technologies to experiment and innovate more quickly. We are continually accelerating our pace of innovation to invent entirely new technologies you can use to transform your business. Like pioneering the serverless computing space with the launch of AWS Lambda, which lets developers run their code without provisioning or managing servers. And AWS built Amazon SageMaker, a fully managed machine learning service that empowers everyday developers and scientists to use machine learning without any previous experience. We are constantly expanding our global network of AWS regions, so you can access AWS services to build and run your applications from anywhere in the world. Each of these regions has multiple availability zones that are physically separated from each other and connected by low latency, high throughput, and highly redundant networking. This makes it easy to design and operate applications that are scalable, fault tolerant, and highly available. Our infrastructure is built to satisfy the security standards of the most risk-sensitive organizations. You also have access to the AWS Partner Network, which has thousands of systems integrators who specialize in AWS services, and tens of thousands of independent software vendors who adapt their technology to work on AWS. With the largest community of customers across every industry, AWS has unmatched experience and operational expertise you can depend upon for your most important applications in every imaginable use case.
Okay, so we from the video what we learned that why AWS is dominant in cloud market, and you can easily launch any services. So at a glance, AWS. So we see that who is the CEO of this company, Andy Jassy, and its revenue is 25.6 billion according to the last, and operating income is 7.2 billion, and it launched in 2006, and this is 2019. In 13 years, it grows in that way, and it is 25 billion company, current world market leader in cloud. So we get some picture why AWS is dominant in the cloud market area. So we got the picture that what lot of transformation is ongoing, right? So AWS, why it is market leader. So AWS number of services. That means how in the physically the server is located in the California, and you launch here from Bangladesh and launch the service using the California, so that you know upfront investment. So just you use the infra part, and you bill is already generated. So that is why AWS is growing so fast. So this is EC2. EC2 means Elastic Compute Cloud. That means why it is important that EC2 is one of the popular of AWS offering, and it mainly consists of renting virtual machine. That means basically you are renting virtual machines from AWS, and you pay according to your use. So that is why EC2 is very important. AWS has more than 170 services, which is used for different purpose. And EC2 is one of the main fundamental service of AWS. So in today's session, we will highlight like 4 AWS core services which are which is required for different purposes. One of the thing is EC2. So we know that EC2 is what. So you rent virtual machine from AWS, the EC2, and sorting data on storing data on virtual drives or EBS, and distributing load across machines. That means load balancing you can do also. And scaling the service using auto scaling group ASG, that means which is part of EC2. That means your application needs, for example, 100 TPS. So you use the resources accordingly, right? But you when you scale up, you scale down. So that is possible, easily possible to AWS. So EC2 is very fundamental to understand how the cloud works. So this is using EC2. What are the service you can actually try to gain, like application server, web server, database server, email server, mail server, media server, catalog, file server, proxy server, any server you can launch through using AWS EC2. So EC2 instances, in the previous video, we explained that pay-as-you-go model. That means you use 1 hour, 2 hour, so it will charge you accordingly. This is part of EC2. And global hosting. And so EC2, this link you can go more details about EC2. So this is instance types. That means EC2 means elastic compute. So depending on the use cases, you need to go for which EC2 I want to choose. So this chart is given that we according to your need, which type of EC2 instances you need to select. For example, website or web application, microservices, business application, you need to choose T2, M4 and M3. While I go through the AWS session, that I will try to give you the figure that what is the different instance types of there. C3, C4, CC2, these are used for the batch processing, distributed analytics, okay, video encoding. And G2 and P2, so these are used for machine learning, high performance databases. So depending on the use cases, you need to select the instance type of EC2. So after EC2, the next key thing is Amazon Virtual Private Cloud or VPC. That means for your application, can you go to the details? So you can design your virtual network. That means what IP range for you need. So locally isolated IP range, routing, how it is incorporated with the internet, private subnet or public site subnet. So this you can control using VPC. So this is one example that subnet, what is the IP range it is incorporated, subnet A1, subnet B1, and what availability zone it is there, and this is the IP range, and this is hosted in Singapore.
Change.
So in VPC concept, we see that region, scope, internet gateway, public subnet, then private subnet, and route table. So these are the feature of Amazon VPC, so that once you go through the details of VPC, then you will learn how you have to design the IP range and everything, how the network will use this VPC. So now the next important part is Amazon S3. S3 is basically a simple storage service. So it is basically a storage service. That means in a website or any application, you need to store the objects in the. So this is S3, and it incorporates the security control as well. So access anytime, access anywhere. This is an example that it's a welcome MP4 is a. So how can you incorporate in the S3? How can you store it in S3? And can you go to the this YouTube this video link?
Their data at a massive scale. Companies today need to simply and securely collect, store, and analyze their data at a massive scale. But today's fragmented data storage portfolios force businesses to struggle with complexity and slow down innovation. That's why AWS storage services give you a place to store all of your data with unmatched durability, availability, and scalability. With a reliable infrastructure, tools for compliance, security, and storage management, a massive ecosystem of integrated third-party software and systems integrator partners, and that works with your business processes and even enhances those processes by allowing anyone to securely run queries of their data without moving it to a separate analytics platform. Amazon Simple Storage Service, or S3, lets you collect, store, and analyze data in any amount from anywhere. First, durability. With the largest global cloud infrastructure, Amazon S3 was built from the ground up to deliver 11 nines of durability. S3 Standard Infrequent Access, and Amazon Glacier storage classes store all of your data redundantly across 3 availability zones that are separated by miles on separate power substations and connected to other AZs and the internet on multiple, physically separate fiber paths, keeping data written to a single AWS region protected, even in the event of an entire availability zone loss. S3 One Zone IA gives you the option to store reproducible data in a single AWS availability zone, trading lower fault tolerance for lower cost. And with all of these storage classes, you have the ability to replicate that data to any other AWS region. Second, security and compliance features. S3 supports 3 different forms of encryption and offers sophisticated integration with tools like AWS CloudTrail for auditing. It's integrated with Amazon Macie, a machine learning service that can automatically discover, classify, and protect sensitive data. And it supports the security standards and compliance certifications that help satisfy compliance requirements for virtually every regulatory agency. Highly regulated organizations, like Capital One, say they can operate more securely in the AWS cloud than in their own data centers. Third, management. Amazon S3 gives storage administrators the most flexible set of storage management and administration capabilities for classifying, reporting, inventorying, and analyzing data. This means you can understand what data you have, make the best decisions about it, and automatically keep your costs down. Amazon S3 also works with AWS Lambda, so you can develop workflows without adding dedicated computing resources. Next, query in place. Amazon S3 lets you run sophisticated big data analytics on your data without requiring you to extract and move the data to a separate analytics platform. Anyone who knows SQL can use Amazon Athena to analyze vast amounts of unstructured data in Amazon S3 on demand. And with Amazon Redshift Spectrum, you can run analytics against exabytes of data in S3 and run queries that span both the data you have in S3 and in your Redshift data warehouses. And now you can even query data directly in Amazon Glacier, making archived data useful without requiring a restore. These query in place tools make it simple for anyone to use simple SQL commands against your entire data set. And even when application data increases, automatic scaling means performance stays fast. And finally, the partner network. In addition to integration with most AWS services, the Amazon S3 ecosystem includes tens of thousands of consulting, systems integrator, and independent software vendor partners, with more joining every month. The AWS Marketplace offers software pre-configured to deploy on the AWS cloud. This means customers can easily use Amazon S3 with popular solutions for backup and restore, archiving, disaster recovery, data lakes, and many more. No other cloud provider has more partners with pre-integrated solutions. Amazon S3 is the single place for whatever data your business needs to store, manage, and analyze. Start your AWS journey today at aws.amazon.com/S3.
So from this video, what we learned, or any comments from your side? Anyone? So S3 is a storage, so you can put data here, and you can from using query you can retrieve the data. So that's why S3 is very important.
Hi there, I'm Samuel from Simply Learn and Live.
So what is the common use cases? Like storage, staging area for big data, static web hosting, application assets, backup and disaster recovery, which most of the organization. So it is a full managed cloud storage service and store virtually unlimited number of objects, access anytime from anywhere, what we saw from the video, and rich security controls and common use cases. The final core service of AWS, which actually previously I mentioned that more than 170 service is from AWS. We are giving highlight only 4, which are very basic. Just we discussed 3. Now the next is RDS. RDS means Relational Database Service. That means in AWS, can you, anyone, what is the known database you know? Oracle, right? So Oracle, MySQL. So these are hosted in AWS. So using AWS, if you want Oracle-based solution, MySQL-based solution, or PostgreSQL-based solution, which is yes. So the PostgreSQL is EMM. So this okay. So this RDS you can use using AWS RDS services. Can you go to this video?
Relational databases are at the heart of your most critical applications, but they can become difficult to manage and operate with high availability as you scale your app. Installs, patching, monitoring, performance tuning, backups, scaling, security, hardware upgrades, and storage management. Database administration is resource intensive, taking time away from building your application. Amazon Relational Database Service, RDS, simplifies database management by automating time-consuming administration tasks. With less operational overhead, your team can focus on optimizing applications and getting faster results. Amazon RDS gives you the freedom to use your relational database of choice, including the most popular open source and commercial engines, and Amazon's relational database built for the cloud, Amazon Aurora. Aurora is MySQL and PostgreSQL compatible and offers the performance and availability of traditional commercial databases at a fraction of the cost. RDS allows you to scale across a global footprint of data centers with enterprise high availability and disaster recovery no matter your size. RDS automates many previously cumbersome tasks: automatic failover, backups and point-in-time restore, disaster recovery, access management, encryption, secure networking, monitoring, and performance optimization. All these and more can be enabled with a few clicks or API calls. Even highly regulated industries can leverage RDS, which meets a broad range of compliance certifications. Hundreds of thousands of AWS customers use Amazon RDS today. Find out why with a free trial. aws.amazon.com/RDS.
Go to the slide. So we got some initial concept about RDS. So that means for database, previously you need to do license everything. So this is incorporated in AWS. So based on your need, the AWS charge monthly subscription model. So what are the challenges of relational database? If we see that server maintenance and energy footprint software installation patches you have to maintain every time. Availability depends on scalability, data security, and OS install patches. So these are challenges. Using AWS RDS, so this is a managed service for that set up and operates a relational database in the cloud. That is the main objective. That means you currently set up, you run the database Oracle. You have to like database server, but it is managed by AWS, and this is the diagram. Application servers and AWS cloud, the RDS is incorporated, so that you don't have to buy the additional hardware and other parts. So using AWS RDS, we can optimize that database schema, data, and AWS manages OS installation patches that you don't have to worry about OS installation patches. AWS manages. Then database software installation patches, AWS manages it. Database backup, high availability, scaling, power rack and stack, server maintenance, you don't have to worry about this. So using AWS RDS, it can be easily achieved. This is the like how RDS is working. We mentioned some databases here, like Amazon Aurora. Aurora is the AWS proprietary database, RDS database, Aurora. If you interview any question that what is Aurora, you can mention. And but existing databases like SQL Server, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Oracle, so this is incorporating AWS. So next slide. So this is the diagram how this is synchronized the data using RDS, how it stores the data, backup of database. So, and private subnet, that means previously we discussed about VPC, which basically design the network, what is the IP range and everything. So this is already built in this. So this is actually application how it call the RDS database. So EC2 is the I earlier mentioned. EC2 is the instance of your application. So each instance query the RDS DB. So using the application. And what is the features here? That replication, promote to master, and offload any queries, read heavy database workload. So these are you can easily access the RDS. So this is highly scalable, high performance, easy to administer, and available and durable, secure and compliant. So this is the session I'm going to arrange, but I will go through some AWS console, so that once after this session, I will request you understand the value of AWS. So you can create AWS account today. I already showed a demo. Can you go to the slide? So this is the AWS environment here. That means after creating account in AWS, you can go through the service. Can you go through the service? Okay, we will show you demo how the AWS environment, what we discussed here. So this is the AWS. After you create the account, here I have created my account, and here if you see, we discussed that AWS has how many services are here of each category. Like EC2, what we discussed, which is the compute here. Compute means what is the instance, what is the how many virtual machine you want. Yes. So that is compute, and EC2 is the main compute here. And then you see that we discussed storage. S3 is the storage here, and other different types of storage definition are there. RDS, which is we defined that relational database service. So this RDS is part of database, but apart from this, other database which is NoSQL, different type of database is here. So these services are used for different purposes here, like migration and transfer. That means if you want to migrate your existing application to AWS, so these services you need to know, or this will be required. So these are basic, and another networking and content delivery. So VPC we highlighted, but other than this, other services are there, like CloudFront, Route 53, API Gateway, Direct Connect. This is machine learning. We know that this is a very hot cake topic for all the tech giants. So machine learning services, you can use these services of AWS. Then media services, AR, VR. Anybody know about AR, VR? Augmented reality, virtual reality. So these you can use in AWS one service called Sumerian, Amazon Sumerian. So by this console, you can get what are the different services. Analytics. Some of the guys very interested on analytics. So analytics tools are here. You can use it. And another hot topic is Internet of Things, IoT Core, IoT One Click, IoT Analytics. So these you can get services using AWS. Even for the game developers, because some guys, especially now the kids,